Which conspiracy theory is so believable that it might be true? The reason Disney came out with a movie called Frozen was so that when you Google Disney Frozen you would get information about the movie and not websites talking about Walt Disney's body being frozen. Lotteries are actually traps for time travelers. The development of the F-35 fighter jet is so over budget so the military can fund other top secret projects without making a new line item on the budget. It's the only conspiracy theory I believe. Trader Joe's makes their parking lots small on purpose to make them seem more popular than they really are. Kyle Kinane. Snapchat worked with the FBI to popularize and secretly test and improve face recognition technology. We went from wow, this is like magic to this is totally normal in a few years, and there's no way that the technology isn't being by law enforcement. The Reddit search function is intentionally bad, or not purposely bad, but they know how to fix it but refuse to encourage more new posts. Apple started the meme about AirPods being expensive as a marketing ploy. Happened around Christmas. You might be right. PETA is controlled opposition run by the meat industry designed to make animal rights activists look bad. They act so insane and overly petty at times I can almost believe this one. I can't believe my most upvoted comment is just a passive remark that basically restates the post. That the government made this post to see if we were onto them. Cops go on wars and leave random police sightings to cause people to slow without actually having to stay and check on people. Michael Jordan's first retirement was actually a suspension by the NBA because of his gambling. It was to avoid a suspension. Subtle difference. The real reason Apple removed the headphone jack was to try to remove Square Pay systems as a competitor for Apple Pay. Edit. First gold comment. Thanks guys. Rob Gronkowski didn't actually injure his groin after scoring his 69th career touchdown. He just thought it would be funny appropriate. DB Cooper. The gentleman that disappeared with $200K after jumping out of a Boeing 727 that he had hijacked. Took the money and created www.imdb.com. I always hear the advice that in order to stop being heckled by Scientologists, just ask where Shelley went or ask about the circumstances of her disappearance. It usually shuts them up. Mattress firms aren't only holding mattresses. Buddy. After reading about this on Reddit, I got to thinking. Once I needed a new bed, I decided to check it out. I went in and was approached by two salesmen. They had this $1,499 mattress that I really liked. The sales guy saw the twinkle in my eye and knew that I must have this mattress. I told him I liked it but I needed something more budget friendly. I was a broke ass at the time. He then said, well, we can do this one here on the floor for $950. I told him to be honest I only have $400 to spare. He says hold on a minute while I make a call. Then comes out and says okay. We can do $400. Just come back in an hour while we prep it. I left, came back and they even helped me lift it up to my truck. Honestly the best mattress I've ever owned. I get compliments all the time. Edit. My top comment is about a duck-in mattress now. I love Reddit. That the CIA post this question every time so they know what the general public suspect. One of my favorites is that the government was behind Throwback Thursday in order to get us to digitize and upload pictures that they would not have had access to in order to improve age progression facial recognition algorithms. I don't know about TBT, but the 10-year challenge provided anyone who wanted to grab it a massive amount of training material for a face recognition RE. YouTube in a mobile browser is so cheaty so they can force you to use the app and not use an ad blocker. Multiple football World Cups have been influenced either by governments hosting them or other entities out for their own gain. 2002 South Korea, Japan in 1978 and Argentina are the two most obvious ones that come to mind. Long John Silver's is some kind of money laundering scheme on the basis that they have been open for as long as I can remember, but I have also literally never seen a busy Long John's. Toxic delusion that I ironically entertain? Perhaps. The oil and coal industries invested heavily in killing off nuclear power as an attractive alternative. These days we have reactor designs many times safer than other methods of generating power. And the waste issue is something that could be fixed with sufficient investment. The government experiments on the mentally insane because no one will believe someone with that kind of medical history. I feel like people overlook the fact that the government actually did experiments on Americans and ducked at least one of them up so bad that he moved to the middle of the woods and started mailing bombs to people. Bob Vance was just trying to plug his business to the cameras every time he introduced himself. The president of the Philippines, Duterte, is very anti-Drew Gus to hide his own involvements with drug cartels off which he makes billions. Funny enough, he once told supporters that if his own children were found to be dealing in Drew Gus, they should be executed. Not long after, one of his children was found to be involved with a big shipment of coke. Ike. Still alive. I may be shaky on some of the details here, but I remember reading this on Duterte's Wikipedia page. I'm at work. We'll find the source later if anyone is interested. Edit. Thanks to everyone who has posted sources in the comments. I got some of the details wrong. Meth. Not coke. etc. But the gist is accurate. Also, Duterte had a past drug issue with fentanyl that nobody really knows if he's clean from, and apparently smokes weed up. I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory at this point, but a lot of people still don't acknowledge that your internet searches and social media profiles are absolutely being used as training models by major IT companies. I was a drum college student and had access to them to run AI training. If you still think you're off the grid, you're an idiot. Being frank, it's not a big deal if you don't have dark sheet to hide. Those people are too busy building the new technological world to give a shit that you look at midget porn. But don't delude yourself to think people don't have access to anything you do on the internet. And to further that point, privacy in public is non-existent. When you're in public, in a city, you're on camera something like every 6 minutes. More in denser areas. So don't go freaking out when someone takes your picture or films you acting like an idiot. If you have your cell phone with you, you're being tracked. How else does Google give you specific traffic congestion details in real time? All over the world. Some organization group of people wanted all the Kennedys dead for some reason. Edit. The term conspiracy theory and its poor connotation was created by the US government specifically for skeptics of the official JFK assassination story. Just felt I should put that out there. The Laurel Canyon conspiracy. Basically, if you look at the counterculture revolutionaries in the music industry in the 60s, most of them were the children of military intelligence people. So the theory is that the free love, lots of Drew Gus movement they inspired was done intentionally to distract the youth from a full-scale revolution. The thought was if the angry youth of the mid to late 60s were too high and getting laid all the time, they would stop caring as much about societal ills and then basically sleepwalk through the 70s. Which they did. I stumbled upon this when I was reading up on Jim Morrison and how his father was the one who called in the fake strike at the Gulf of Tonkin that kicked off the Vietnam War. And which was shown later to have been a false flag. Turns out, a lot of his contemporaries were also children of highly placed military people with ties to intelligence. Strange that they all wound up in Laurel Canyon as part of the same movement. Sometimes I really believe the rumor that Avril Lavigne died in 2003 and was replaced by her double. Other times I think it's complete BS. Depends on the day. Edited because she died, in 2003. Not 2001. Amelia Earhart was taken prisoner by the Japanese. There's another theory that she crashed on an island and starved to death. A skeleton from around the right time period was found. I think in the flesh was eaten by coconut crabs. Really upsetting imagining a horde of giant monsters ripping her flesh off. Edit. A word. Edit 2. I didn't say the crabs ate her alive, I'm saying they might have eaten her body after she died. Possibly from starvation exposure. The CIA was involved in selling crack to low-income black neighborhoods to fund activities they couldn't get approved by Congress. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people believe there was some involvement and it's just a matter of degree. But I think they were nuts deep in directly smuggling and selling crack through intermediaries to black communities with full knowledge of the Justice Department and executive branch. Edit dudes. I just want to clarify the fact that the CIA was involved in some degree of drug smuggling is generally considered a well-attested fact. The degree to which they were involved in the proliferation of crack, the motivations behind this, and the degree to which the president knew of and condoned or even ordered all of this is a little more debatable. Women's pants pockets are significantly smaller than men's pants pockets to encourage us to buy handbags and purses. That research of thorium as a safer nuclear power source was suppressed in favor of uranium research due to uranium's ability to be weaponized. Edit on my lunch break and see that this kinda blew up. A lot of good information in the comments. I'm not a physicist or an engineer. My field is environmental studies, so safer, cleaner energy is important to me. That being said, I obviously have not researched this topic enough. It just seems to pop up in conspiracy topics often. See YouTube. Looks like a good discussion. I'll have to read through it all after work. The government spreads insane conspiracy theories that conspiracy nutters will latch onto to distract from actual conspiracies. Like flooding the conspiracy market to devalue conspiracies. Edit. Dear Allah. I get it. Michael Scott. The Office. Stanley. Gossip episode. Comma, do you guys ever check to see if anyone else made that comment? The idea that genetic services like 23andMe may be selling records to the government and or insurance companies. There have been cases of criminals being caught with genetic information like this. Citation needed. So it's not much of a stretch that other agencies could acquire it as well. There is a pedophile ring in Hollywood government. The value of expensive art is just as a pseudo-currency for rich people to subtly buy drugs or other illicit things. Two conspiracy theorists walk into a bar. You can't tell me that was just coincidence. Man. There's an underground PR firm that helps celebrities fake their own death to escape the harshness of the limelight or if they feel like their life is in danger. That is Tupac, Biggie, Paul Walker, etc. Memes about the NSA and other spy programs are encouraged by the very agencies spying on us to twist the idea into the absurd and to humanize their agents. I don't have time to type it all out right now. But the entire situation surrounding the construction and operation of Denver International Airport is strange. Even by non-conspiracist standards. Have fun in the rabbit hole. I did a short write-up about this a few years back. Here it is. Read it if you want. Denver International Airport, secret bunker, giant cult shrine, and potential concentration camp. There are a lot of conspiracy theories revolving around the Denver airport. I'll try to touch on all the ones I know, but forgive me if I miss a few. There's no doubt that there are some odd things about the airport. From the delayed construction to the massive cost to the odd choice of decorations. Opening on the 28th of February, 1995. 16 months behind schedule and at double the cost of the original estimate, $4.8 billion. Denver International Airport is the largest airport in the US by total land area. 33,531 acres. Not long after it opened, wild conspiracy theories began floating around. One major theory is that there is a massive underground bunker that was built for the world's elite in the event of an apocalyptical event. Another is that there is a massive facility underneath that was built to be used as a concentration camp in the future. Some people believe that the reason for the delay in the schedule was due to the construction of said underground bunkers and tunnels. Supposedly, a construction worker claims that they buried 5 multi-story buildings underneath and built the airport on top of it. Aside from the construction theories, there's plenty of things inside the airport that are just plain odd. One thing mentioned often is the large Mustang statue, shown above, outside of the airport, nicknamed Blue Cipher. A large blue horse with red eyes that supposedly represents one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Death. Oddly enough, the architect who designed the piece was killed when the horse's head fell on him, severing major arteries and causing what proved to be fatal injuries. Another thing people find odd is a dedication stone inside the airport. One of the first things you notice is the large Freemason symbol in the middle of the stone. Another thing people point to is a date on the stone, the 19th of March, 1994, which if you add up the numbers 191994, you get 33, which is a significant number in the Freemasons, as I believe it is the highest level you can reach in the organization. The last odd thing about the dedication stone is that it says near the bottom New World Airport Commission contributors. People believe this is reference to the New World Order, which will supposedly be brought on by the Freemasons Illuminati. Also noted by conspiracy theorists are the 4 odd and slightly disturbing murals that are displayed in the airport. Some people believe these murals are packed with Freemason iconography and occult references and even are a telling of the future. TLDR, Denver Airport is a secret occult super bunker and has some really poor taste when it comes to decorations.